Assalamu alaikum. Let's cook. American white supremacists. Failure to take responsibility and accountability for the things that you did wrong, you destroyed, and screwed up, especially when it affects non-white people. Check these fools out in New York.
These New York City centers facilitate the use of heroin, crack, and other hard drugs. The question is, does it help address America's drug problem? You walk in through the front door, you register, and you go wait your turn to go into the back room. There are tourniquets that you wrap around your arm, sterilized needles.
Their favorites, they pick everything, they give the booth, assign the booth. Once they go in the booth to use, that's their property. We don't really pay attention.
There's also a smoking room in the back. When I visited, there were people smoking crack in that smoking room. You're supposed to stay inside the facility and you are monitored, and if there is an instance of an overdose, staff can intervene. Now, I was told these staff members have intervened 2,100 times since this facility opened in 2021.
I used to say to the community, we responded to your request, and they would be like, no, we didn't want an OPC. So, but you didn't want public drug use. You didn't want people dying. You didn't want people using in parks, etc. We agree, we brought them in and loved them.
There are only 3 centers like this in the entire country, 2 in Upper Manhattan in New York City and 1 in Rhode Island.
It feels like an experiment because it is.
I also spoke to Led Black. He is a community activist. He lives about 5 blocks away from the second of 2 facilities, and he told me that he has 3 daughters and they shouldn't have to deal with people struggling with addiction on the stoop of their apartment building.
One of the statistics they cite is, well, we've overcome 500 overdoses.
It's actually up to 2,000.
2,000, right? But that to me, what does that mean, right? How many people have you gotten off of drugs? They never tell you that's that.
It's unclear if it's all On Point's fault that there are users and dealers drawn to this neighborhood. What members of the community tell me is that it's drawing people struggling with addiction and it's drawing dealers.
Saritha Kamarareddy is running for New York State Attorney General as a Republican.
There's nothing safe about injecting yourself with heroin. We have no measurement of how many people actually get treatment. There's no evidence that anyone has gotten any treatment from these things. Instead, we keep funding them, and the legislature wants to expand them statewide. This is a tragedy. We have to actually get people help, and that's not what they're doing.
A congresswoman representing Staten Island sent this letter to then Attorney General Pam Bondi, asking her to shut the facilities down because she said by allowing for illegal drug use in-house, it violates federal law. There are no federal dollars that go to this facility, and that's because President Trump issued an executive order stating that there would be no federal dollars going to safe injection sites or overdose prevention centers like On Point. But there is city money funneling into On Point NYC through the Department of Health. They also get donations from foundations and elsewhere. They're pulling in annually, it looks like about $19 million. We saw what some of that money is going to. Well, they just renovated, and there are massage tables, aromatherapy, a new hairstyling room. Proponents say that having On Point, a place where people can come in with nobody's judging them and they can just use drugs, removes a barrier to accessing the other health care that is on offer.
Having people come in here, have a spa experience in New York City, teaching and showing our people that they too can have all of this. They should have access to this kind of health.
Does this place actually reduce overdose deaths? If you look at studies looking at Vancouver, which has had overdose prevention centers since 2003, or in Europe and Portugal, some studies do measure a slight drop in death rates from overdoses, but that quickly kind of disappears when it gets mixed together with a wider population. So even the NIH's National Institute Institute on Drug Abuse. They, on their website, say it is unclear whether such facilities reduce overdose death rates overall. Johns Hopkins bioethicist Travis Reeder told me that at the end of the day, even though the empirical data is unclear in terms of the overdose death rates, he and a lot of people studying them are proponents, and he told me why.
So here's what an overdose prevention site does. It says, you are welcome here, and I will watch over you so that you don't die today. And you're worth that, you deserve that, because you're a human being and you have dignity. And I think that's a really beautiful thing.
These New York City centers facilitate the use of heroin, crack, and other hard drugs. The question is, does it help address America's drug problem? You walk in through the front door, you register, and you go wait your turn to go in.
So this is what they're doing in New York City to fix the drug problem that they created. How backwards, stupid, and caveman tactic is that? They want to fix broken drug addicts by giving them a place to use drugs so that they don't OD. My thing is, why do you all even care if they OD? You don't even seem like the type of people who would care whether somebody OD'd or not. I don't get that. But these people can definitely fix the drug problem. But if they did, it would thwart their white supremacist plan. It would stop it. You know, getting these people off drugs, having them eventually live a normal life, it crumbles their justice system. Thousands upon thousands of white people have jobs, make money, have houses, feed families, live a lifestyle off of the system that they created due to somebody else's misfortune that they created. Yeah, black people work in the system too, but of course, there are always going to be black people that get through and get a few crumbs, you know, and become a beneficiary of some white policies by default, but it's not about the black people. It's about them, okay? It's not about them, it's about them. This guy right here.
This facility opened in 2021.
I used to say to the community, we responded to your request, and they would be like, no, we didn't want an OPC. I said, but you didn't want public drug use. You didn't want people dying. You didn't want people using in parks, etc. We agree, we brought them in and loved them.
Listen, bro right there who works there, he's just happy to have a job, man. At the point in this guy's life, he would justify anything, you know, that you give him to keep him off of drugs, give him a job, some kind of a lifestyle, help his broken life, you know, come together a little bit. He'll speak up for anything, you know what I mean? And you know what? You know, bless his heart. If I had his life or his issues or the things that he'd been through or some of the bad decisions that he made and I was trying to work it out, I'd probably be sitting there saying the same thing as him. You know, that's why we don't take people like him seriously. We get it. I get it, yo. But we don't take you seriously. You know, we know why somebody like you has to sit and say these things. And who knows, as comfortable as that place is, he may even get back on whatever he was on before. You know, they make it so comfortable and convenient for people.
Island.
It feels like an experiment because it is.
I also spoke to Led Black. He is a community activist. He lives about 5 blocks away from the second of 2 facilities. And he told me that he has 3 daughters and they shouldn't have to deal with people struggling with addiction on the stoop of their apartment building.
One of the statistics they cite is, well, we've overcome 500 overdoses.
It's actually up to 2,000.
2,000, right? But that to me, what does that mean, right? How many people have you gotten off of drugs? They never tell you that's that.
It's
Led Black is telling the truth, somebody with some sense. This program ain't helping nobody. It's not helping no one. You ain't getting people off of drugs. You're giving these padded fake stats to make your program appear as if it's working. And if it came from white American people who have never fixed the problem, we know it ain't going to work. And like the man said, it's a nuisance to the community. Who wants to go out and see fiends standing around? Because as much as they need help, they bring nothing but issues. If you live around there, you don't want to see that, man. Come on. You don't want to see that. And the program is ultimately not going to do anything. It's not going to do nothing. We already know that just by who it came from.
Saritha Kamadareddy is running for New York State Attorney General as a Republican.
There's nothing safe about injecting yourself with heroin. We have no measurement of how many people actually get treatment. There's no evidence that anyone has gotten any treatment from these things. Instead, we keep funding them, and the legislature wants to expand them statewide. This is a tragedy. We have to actually get people help, and that's not what they're doing.
Okay, this chick Saritha, this Indian chick, just another Satanist in position, a Republican who would try to take money from one thing and use it for something else. That's it. Going back and forth, take the money from here, these people suffer, give it, whatever, man. You know, you say they need help, but what is your definition of help? That's what I would want to know. Because the party that you represent has never helped anybody who ain't white, or never did anything unless they have a long game agenda that's there to crumble black people. So what's your definition of help? These people who you work with, your party people, whether it be you or the other weirdos, have never solved a problem. White people have never solved a problem, and you're white in this position. Even though you're Indian, you know, and that's my problem with people like you. You come in the game in the 9th inning, getting into politics, you know, people like you, Mandani, Kamala, and all these other weirdos. You know, you people come in the 9th inning getting in politics, and your mentality is you people try to solve problems based off of what you seen of when your mommy and daddy showed up, when they came to America and landed. Oh, this is when it started. No, there's an entire history, systemic issues that started long before your grandparents were even born. And that's why I don't like people like her, Mandani, and other ones, because they don't consider the history. They don't consider the systemic issues or where they come from. They think, oh, I could just hop in now and this is the problem. No, that ain't how it goes. You don't have the answers. You don't respect our humanity. You don't even respect your own people's humanity. You know, you don't consider history. You're a Satanist just like the rest of them. You know what I mean? Then in this video, they get into President Trump and whatever he rejected or whatever to make it appear as if Trump is a problem. No, Trump is just another white supremacist, just like the ones that you supported before and the ones who you work with now. You know, no different. He's not going to fix a problem. You won't. They didn't. None of you will, because it's not in your heart to fix the problem. You know, these whites, these liberals, right? The fastest way that I could tell that they are white supremacists at the core is these people start talking. They act as if Trump invented the N-word. Trump invented police brutality and racism. You know what I mean? You hear these white liberals attribute all these issues, these current issues with white supremacy, drugs, lynchings, police brutality, oh, MAGA this and Trump's America. Shut up. You people are the worst, most disgusting people. Trump, Biden, Bush, all of them, Obama, all these people are white supremacists who never did anything to solve or fix any issues that their people created. You want to know how racist white Americans are? All you got to do is talk to a white liberal, a so-called good white liberal. Because, of course, people will say, okay, well, the conservative ones, they're yeah, and they are. Conservative white Americans are all white Americans at the core. Their overall mindset and hearts are disgusting. I don't care about the party. But, you know, the liberals, they come more nice, okay? You know, but talking to white liberals, and it's a lot of white liberals in Washington, D.C. I mean, a lot of people don't even know where they at. You know, they think D.C., but it's a lot of white liberal millionaires in D.C., regular people. You know what I mean? The so-called nice white people. And yeah, they'll treat you nice. If they like you, they'll treat you nice. But if you talk to them, those are the people who make you realize how much all white people are the same. It's automatic for them to look at a black person as less than human than them. Automatic. They do not need a memo. It's something that has been embedded in them since they were babies, okay? At the core belief, I'm talking about the so-called nice ones. You know what I mean? The ones who you would rather be around, and I get it, who would treat you nicer in your face. Yeah, I get it. But when you see how they really feel and what they really think and what their mindset is towards black people, it just goes to show you how disgusting and racist white Americans are. But back to this video, these people can definitely fix the drug problem, But if they do, it would cause too many problems for them. This is what they want. They say that we don't want people to OD and be outside. They have all the money to fix it. They created this issue. They know people need help, you know. But what they'll do for a program like this is they'll take millions of dollars from a children's program or a program for the elderly or something like that and put it in this. Other people will suffer. I don't think there's something wrong with people who use drugs that may want help, need aid, may need programs to go get it. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. The bottom line is these white supremacists create these issues and they know what they're doing. So they'll say, oh, we're doing this for these broken drug people, these people on drugs, but they'll take that money, you know, that could have been used for the youth programs, to educate them, to teach them things how to, you know, that will improve their quality of life in the future. They take money from the elderly and do this, but they have the money to fix it all. They have the money to fix it all. They've been sending money overseas to all kinds of white supremacists to do their evil worldwide. Billions upon billions of dollars. They can fix these problems. They don't want to. All these white supremacist crackers do is point the finger back and forth and blame each other instead of fixing anything. The Democrats get in, they do it. The Republicans, they do it. These people are disgusting devils, y'all. These people are devils, man. I'm telling you, man. They can fix these issues. But anyway, people, get in the comments. Let me know what you think or know about this drug program, going to this spot to get high and going in rooms to smoke crack and shoot up and all that. You know, whatever, you know, let me know what you think. Get in the comments. Also, link in the description to my masterpiece, The N-Word Is No Secret in the Service, and also link to the email list. Go ahead and get on that. Put your name on that. I mean, your email address or whatever, so you know what the content is, just in case it disappears. Easy.